Oh, there we go. And first of all,
Yo,
an introduction.
what's up, Vic?
So,
Okay,
hold on. To all our people out here, I want to introduce you to my beautiful wife. She's AKA the wife of Beast One, AKA the owner of the Zen Yo. Where if you trying to get your life right, you trying to do your stretching, you trying to do this, you trying to get everything, get your yin and your yang. She's also a beautiful, gorgeous mother of three. She's a entrepreneur. She's an inspiration. She is a missions person that goes out and helps people, which I don't. And she is my wife, Victoria. What's up, Victoria? Welcome to the show.
thank you. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Well,
So the guys were asking me, how was your trip? First, I complained about how tough it was that you were gone because you are the most loveliest woman that I've ever met.
thank you.
Just
Thank you.
being without you for 2 weeks, very hard. But anyway, so please tell us, how was it to go back to the motherland and be amongst a tradition that most people don't get to experience?
I think how was it is such a broad word because there were so many intricate experiences that I had that were overwhelming and so fulfilling. So I can say upon arrival, we had a tour guide, and as he was explaining, going throughout the airport, and once we got into the van, he said, "Welcome home, sister." And when he said, "Welcome home," it was like my heart dropped. Because before this trip, a lot of you don't know that I don't know a lot of my history here in America. So I was on a journey to really find my history. And so going to Africa was the peak of that. And he said, the blood that binds us is thicker than the water that separates us. And that spoke volumes to me. He set the precedent, of the trip. What would you like to know? There's so many things.
Baby, be careful because we do have a colonizer here as a guest. I don't want him to, because it looked like he wrote down a thing we've ever said, but it looks like he's writing down notes now to make sure that he can pass it on to his people.
No, I was just wondering what the Project Safety Nets is. Like what
Okay. That's a great question. Project Safety Nets is a 504 company, a nonprofit organization that deals with economic development, education, health. And it is an organization that was started a long time ago. Ann Dillard started the organization. Her godmother started the organization. Once her godmother was not able to continue with, she took it on. And so what they do is they focus on helping women entrepreneurs start businesses, sustainable lifestyles. We also help and support those that have leprosy start their own businesses. We give micro loans to them, and we check in and see what the progress is. If they're having any challenges, how can we support them in overcoming those challenges? And also with youth leadership and education, she focuses on how they can be a leader within their community, a youth leader within their community. And so she started the youth leadership and education, especially because the women in Africa, when they come on their cycles, they typically lose about 35 to 45 days of education. And so it puts them at a disadvantage as far as education goes. So we have partnered with another organization that does.
I asked the question. When you said they come on a cycle, they come on a cycle? that what
like
you said?
cycle, like their period, a menstrual
Okay.
cycle.
Wow.
Yeah. When they come on
Sorry,
their
I wasn't sure.
menstrual cycle.
Okay. Well, I didn't know
When
that.
they come
I
on their
didn't know we was
menstrual,
going there in this conversation. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
it's so important, so very important. When they come on their menstrual cycle, yes, they lose about 35, 45 days of schooling, which puts them behind the men in that country or the young boys in that country. So they developed a system. It's it's not pads because the trash in the continent is really bad. So instead of dealing with something that has trash, we have something that's called care packages, like it's self-care packages, where there's a it's like a cloth diaper, but it's a cloth pad for women. And I'm looking at your face.
Well, I'm just surprised. It's
Very important.
2023. Nobody's come up with something better. Yo,
Well,
like this is
We're shipping trash over there. Like, yeah.
It's for us to do that. No, but I
we
did have
you
a
and your
break.
people, Albans, about we.
Hey.
Don't-
It's our
don't put us
country.
in
It's
that. Nah,
our
don't-
country. Everything. We're shipping fucking shit over there like crazy. It's fucked up.
All right, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a trip. It's a trip. But yeah, there's a lot of aspects of the organization that are so important. So thanks for asking that question, Alvin.
Sure thing.
I got another question that's coming back. Oh, you want that? You got anything else?
Nah, you can go ahead.
All right. So with the trip and everything you did, what was the most impactful thing that you felt that y'all accomplished while you were there? Got to pick one.
Just one? Just one.
Just one.
Okay,
All right. Hey, it's my show. You can do whatever you want, my love. You can pick 3. You can pick 20. Go ahead. Do whatever you want.
Okay. So for me, there's different aspects to this. So there's the experience side, and then there's the mission side. And so for me, on the missions element, I would say visiting the gentleman that had leprosy was most impactful for me.
So hold on. So like biblical leprosy, like
biblical leprosy. There's people that still have biblical leprosy.
Hold on. I got a quick question for the fellas.
Okay.
I've lived in the United States all my life. Have you ever heard of or met a person with leprosy?
No.
I didn't even think that existed.
Oh no, I knew it existed, but I've never met anybody with it.
Have you ever heard anybody in the United States with leprosy?
Because we got the vaccines that prevent it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. So meeting them, they have a whole town that's kind of off to the side, not in the beaten path. And so going to their community and meeting this family that Project Safety Nets decided to give a microloan to. And again, the microloans are for individuals to start a business. And so
a microloan, how much in American dollars would be considered a microloan in Africa?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is they got microloans. And so the first microloan that they received was last year. And so we were coming back to follow up to see what he did with that money and if there was any challenges. And so the microloan, he used that money to buy chickens for the community. And this individual was like the elder in the community, whereas he was able to walk. Other people in the community were not able to walk. They didn't have any hands, like no fingers, no feet, and were blind.
So was the whole community leopards or just select people in there?
So the community was known as a lepers community. However, not everybody in the community had leprosy. He was married and his wife did not have leprosy. He had 2 kids that did not have leprosy. And those were some of the questions that we asked. If you were to marry someone that did also have leprosy, would you have children that did? And you don't necessarily have to have children that have leprosy. It could come out normally, which was mind blowing, mind blowing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know a lot about leprosy, so I'm confused at the conversation. That I didn't even know it still existed. But
yeah.
so yeah,
Let me get back to the story. Let me get back to the story.
I'm sorry.
So we gave a micro loan last year for him, and he decided to buy chickens. He would go to town. Again, this town, the lepers community, was outside of Dakar. Dakar is the capital of Senegal. And so within Senegal, there's like street corners, as you would call them. There would be lepers congregating on the street corners, just begging for money, just begging for money. And so what he would do was he would purchase the chickens. And of course, he harvested the chickens. They laid the eggs. So he would sell the eggs and sell the chickens from funding or from money. He would buy whatever they needed, the grain, the rice, the oil, and bring back to the community so that his wife would fix food for the community so they could sustain themselves for the next couple of months. And he would stay in the car after the food was gone for a month, away from his family, away from his kids, blind, no fingers and no hands. That hustle is real. When I tell you that dedication hit my heart so much, and he did not complain. He said this was what he was supposed to do in his life. He had a purpose.
It's a true dad mentality right there.
Man, the hustle was real. It hit me so hard in my heart because I have an ailment. I have an internal situation that I'm battling. But they have it on the outside. Mine is internal. You can't see mine, an invisible disorder. Theirs is on the outside, and they overcome that every single day. He does not complain. His wife doesn't complain. She prepares for the community. And to see what they're up against, walking for miles and miles with no feet, just wrapped up in tape, they're limitless. Their mentality is so strong. It's limitless. And that hit me so hard. Like even thinking about it, I'm coming to tears because in America, we have so much and we take so much for granted, and everything that they have, they really capitalize on, and they live their life in joy every single day. Every single day.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Hey, you're perfect in my eyes, inside and out. And don't laugh. I love you. But not, hey, that's why I'm glad you went. That's why I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you did the mission. Your heart is pure with in doing those things. So I'm so proud of you. Is there anything else that you want to express to us before we?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Taliban boys. The Taliban boys are considered the throwaway boys. In many surrounding communities, they have children, but they're not able to provide for their children. The thought is that they're sending their children to an educational boarding school. And when they send them there, they're supposed to get education. They're supposed to learn the Quran. They're supposed to learn life-sustaining skills and things like that. But there's so many people that are sending their children to this school that he's unable to provide for them. And so kids as young as 4 years old, 3 and 4 years old, are sent from far away, near and far, to this boarding school. And he can't do anything with them. So literally, he leaves them on the street. They're away from their family, away from their community, don't know anybody. And so they come out with little buckets and they collect money all over the streets. And one of the organizations that we visited takes care of the Taliban boys. She's only able to do it 3 times a week, and hopefully that will increase. But she provides a hot meal for them, education, reading and writing, and then they get sent back on the street. They do get medical supplies and things like that, clothes, and they're sent back on the street to beg day in, day out. It is so heart-wrenching. They sell whatever they can. When I tell you, you can find somebody on the street selling a carpet, selling a chicken, selling oranges, selling a teapot. Hustle is real. When I tell you, in this country, looking back on this country, to see the homelessness here, it does not compare to the homelessness and the poverty that is in Africa that they're suffering from. And unfortunately, it's from the colonizers.
All that.
What the fuck? Oh, man.
You gotta take credit for your people, brother. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong, I'm like 25% colonizer. I'm light as hell, but it's okay. Look, man, hey, thank you. I'm gonna say this, so I would like to know more information about the Taliban boys that you just talked about. I'm gonna have you look into it. It could be something that even we're on Zoom. I would love to get somebody with that organization on our show that we can talk about it and have another interview about that, and maybe because that mentality is mainly based about men. So hopefully maybe we can start our own organization to help that. And that's just an idea I had right now. But baby, I appreciate it. We do have to keep it moving. And
Okay.
I love you.
One more thing. One more
thing.
thing. Last thing.
My life, always one more.
Goree Island.
Okay.
Do y'all know what Goree Island is?
No.
Goree Island is the island where the captured Africans went to before shipping off into the transatlantic slave trade.
So it's the shortest port from Africa to America.
To Europe.
Or
to Europe.
To Europe or to
Europe.
They went to Europe, then came down.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we went to the door of no return. And within this home, they used to house the Africans that were captured. And they had a cell for children, for mothers, for teenagers, and then for men. So literally they separated all the families. And within the children's cell, they experienced the most death because of disease, because of whatever you want to think it is. They suffered. And when I walked into the children's cell, it's such a sacred place. You could literally hear, feel, and see the cries from the babies being separated from their mother. You could see the agony in the mother's eyes. You could hear the cries. It was unbelievable. You just felt it and you just wept. You just wept. There was no ventilation. It was like a slit that was like this big, literally this big, where mothers would stick their hands through to try to find and touch their children just to get that one last touch. And they had a cell for the teenagers that the slave, I don't want to say masters, but at that time, those that captured them, the colonizers would come and rape the teenagers and create children that were considered Milano or mixed race children. And that's how they started a division. The lighter skinned children would go and live in the homes. And then those that were darker skinned would live in bottom basement, literally, conditions. And it was just unbelievable. Like your whole body felt the spirits. The blood is crying out from the grave. It was amazing how intense it was. And to stand at that door, to look across the shores, to know that was their last time ever seeing and knowing their home. I'm telling you, it is a must-do trip. It is a must-do trip. Now, there are beautiful elements.
Yes. Also, can we end with something positive? Because right now, to me, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that kind of stress in my life.
Yeah. So there are beautiful elements, amazing elements to Africa. Everyone is so welcoming. You see everyone that looks like you. They're community. They're like, hey, my brother, or hey, my sister, salam alaikum, alaikum salam. I learned the language, which is Warlock. And you can see that there are those beautiful structures in the homes, and they welcome you and they sit in community style, eating their food with their hands or spoons. It's just so amazing to watch how much joy and peace that they have. It's undeniably the best experience that I've ever had in my
life.
In my life. Life-changing. Impactful. So impactful.
Well, baby, I know you worked hard to get to this trip, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you went. I'm glad you had a great time, and thank you for sharing with us. And it was, I'm glad. I'm just glad about everything. Life is good.
Yeah. Thank you all for those that supported me. I appreciate that.
Everybody here supported you. I'm pretty sure everybody supported you.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much. I couldn't have made it without the love and support that has been behind me. And yes, soon to see, you will see signs coming out and more pictures coming out just to show our gratitude for you. So appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, baby. Love you.
Love you.
The first lady of Dad Mentality is now leaving the room. Just give her a round of applause.